Many talk about high dividend paying equities or funds as being superior in retirement because they generate income. They don't consider that selling appreciated diverse stock funds is an option. But the tax rates are basically the same. What's your view on dividend investing for retirement? Thank you.
Okay, so what do you think about high dividend equities or funds? I'm not a big fan of this approach to getting a value tilt. Now, there are people out there that swear by dividends. They just think dividends are the cat's meow, even though in reality, as far as from an accounting point of view or a taxation point of view, a dividend is nothing more than selling shares at a long-term capital gain. It's like a forced sale of your shares when you may not even want the cash. And so it's not necessarily ideal to declare a dividend, because it's costing your investors some taxes if they really didn't want the dividend. The idea, though, that these dividend investors have is that if company management have to pay dividends, then they'll manage the company better. And if they look back over the historical records, they see that these companies that pay dividends have better returns than the overall market. But in reality, what that is just a manifestation of the value factor. This idea that value stocks over the long run have better returns than growth stocks. And that's likely because the companies are a little bit riskier, although there are some behavioral aspects to that. But it turns out if you want a value tilt in your portfolio, that a dividend tilt is not necessarily the best way to get that. It's not a terrible way to get that. If you want to tilt your portfolio toward dividend producing stocks, that's okay. I mean, I tilt my portfolio toward value stocks, but it may not be the very best way to do it. So I'm not a huge fan of it. I certainly don't think there's something magic about dividends like a lot of these kind of dividend diehards you'll see out there. I mean, there's 1,000 blogs on the internet dedicated to dividend stock investing. Most of them don't understand the concept of uncompensated risk of individual equities, but just realize that there's a lot of behavioral and psychological aspects to this. If you want your questions answered by the White Coat Investor, record your question at whitecoatinvestor.com/YQA or click the link in the description.
My dad, your host, Dr. Dahle, is a practicing emergency physician, blogger, author, and podcaster. He is not a licensed accountant, attorney, or financial advisor, so this podcast is for your entertainment and information only and should not be considered official, personalized financial advice.